You're watching Local 10, home of Local10.com. WPLG Local 10 News at 5 starts now.
And good afternoon, everyone. We are following a big breaking news story out of Venezuela right now. We do understand that its president, Hugo Chávez, has died. That word coming from the #2 person in charge, Nicolás Maduro.
This after a long battle with cancer. We have experienced him going back and forth to Cuba for treatment. We are joined now by Glenna Milberg and our senior political reporter, Michael Putney, just getting his microphone on for us, because this is something we've been expecting for months, weeks, and now just in the last few days and hours. But Glenna, it's going to take the Venezuelan community by surprise.
Well, let me just say that we've heard the death of Hugo Chávez on and off for about several weeks now. So right now we're waiting for some confirmation from several other sources, but this does seem to be the most confirmed report of his death that we've had so far. And just a few hours ago, Nicolás Maduro, the vice president, went in front of the cameras, addressed national and the international press, as he called it, to say that the condition had worsened and detailed that, but never said he has died. So if this is true, it's just been in the last 4 hours.
Yeah. And this happened just minutes before our newscast, too. Us getting the word about Hugo Chávez, who we're seeing pictures of right now. Obviously, before it was determined that he had cancer and he was suffering and had numerous operations over in Cuba. And Michael, we talked about this before, that the fact that he might have gone back to Venezuela just maybe 2 weeks ago for that very reason, to die in his native country.
That's the way it appears to me, certainly. I think to most people is that he returned from his last visit to Cuba. He had had at least 4 surgeries in Cuba and chemotherapy for a cancer in his pelvic area. The Venezuelans never really said exactly what was ailing Hugo Chávez, but he had a serious form of cancer. He was 58 years old. He a powerful figure in his country. Of course, I think many Cuban-American exiles and, of course, the thousands of Venezuelans who fled for him think that he had staged what in Spanish is called a golpe de Estado, which means a coup d'etat. He had taken over that government there through various referendums over the last 10 years to cement his power. And the question becomes now really what happens? Who will take power?
And Michael, we just saw a shot there from VTV, Venezuelan TV. You saw some officials at a podium. There is some sort of statement being delivered right now, so we're going to monitor that and translate that for you. There you see that picture coming into us.
Excuse me, that is Nicolás Maduro, who is the vice president. Can we, if he is speaking live, we need to try to listen in.
Mucha oración y asumamos estas dificultades en la vida con el amor más grande que sembró en nuestro corazón Hugo Chávez Frías. Honor y gloria a Hugo Chávez. Honor y gloria. Que viva Hugo Chávez. Que viva por siempre. Para siempre.
Well, it appears that Nicolás Maduro is overcome by emotion here as he announces the death of his friend and his political mentor, Hugo Chávez, whom we see here in happier days. Maduro is now the leader of Chavismo, the Chavista movement in Venezuela. But there are questions, I know, that were raised this morning, in fact, by Carlos Alberto Montaner in the Miami Herald. In a column he wrote that said, is even Maduro the legitimate vice president? Because there are questions about whether Hugo Chávez was ever sworn in. He was elected last October, but he never got back to be sworn in as president, as far as we know.
As far as the Venezuelan Constitution states, there will be an election ASAP upon the death of Chávez, which means, I would suppose, whether or not he ever was sworn in, an election would take place, although back in December, when Chávez was in Cuba, he sort of anointed Maduro as his successor, which is not what the Constitution says.
Well, of course, there is a Constitution, but it has been fungible here over the last couple of months. I mean, the Constitution said that he had to return, I believe, by January 10th to be sworn in as the president, and he was not back in the country.
And Glenna, I'm sure this is part of your piece today that you were going to run about Hugo Chávez before we learned about his death just minutes before this newscast was never the moment to waste for Venezuela to blame the U.S. for something, and today they did exactly that.
A fairly startling accusation, even among what Venezuela has done, really. And I'm not sure they were blaming the U.S. or the U.S. and other opposition and detractors within and without, but Nicolas Maduro, in his speech this morning, all but said Chávez's cancer was an attack. Somebody purposefully poisoned Hugo Chávez and caused his illness and caused his cancer. I'm not aware that cancer can be caused by poison, so I'm not sure how far that can go, but he was very serious when he leveled those accusations, did not name an entity or a person, but that was a very large part of what he talked about this morning.
So then, Michael, that has led to Congresswoman Ileana Ros-Lehtinen coming out to say she wants that the U.S. must expel Venezuelan diplomats after Venezuela allegedly threw out an Air Force attaché earlier in the day. I mean, this is getting very, very political with the diplomats.
Yeah, that's a standard procedure. You're going to throw out one of our diplomats, we'll throw out one of your diplomats. I don't know how far it's going to go. Of course, Maduro just the other day issued a strange statement. He said that the Venezuelans, their secret service, their police force was following the governor of the state, that the man who Capriles ran against Hugo Chávez in October and lost, and he was visiting family in New York, and Maduro said he owns an apartment in New York, and we're following him every second. I just think that there is a lot of chaos within the leadership group in Venezuela right now, and it's reflected in the expulsion of this American diplomat in Caracas.
And actually, I have Venezuelan friends here who told me just as of yesterday that Capriles is here, that he has a place on Brickell Avenue, and that he's actually in Miami right now. And I said to them, do you feel that he could actually run? Do you think he would run again? And their general feeling, being business owners and large families from Venezuela, is that no, he won't be running again, that there will be enough power within the people that Chávez has left in his wake that they will be able to carry on. But
well, as Glenna was just saying, the Constitution mandates an election. Capriles got 45% of the vote in October. That's not bad. And who knows how legitimate the vote was.
And Michael, if we can just take a moment here to just sort of recap the events that have happened so far. Right before this newscast, we heard the breaking news that Hugo Chávez has died, apparently died of cancer at the age of 58. And right now we want to sort of take you back and look at his rise to power.
Outspoken Venezuelan President Hugo Chávez appeared to never back down from a challenge. Chávez's rise to power was rocky. Born in an impoverished neighborhood, he joined a military academy and began pushing for social reform. But his first attempt backfired in 1992 when he helped stage a military coup to overthrow the Venezuelan government and failed. After 2 years in prison, Chávez went from soldier to politician, and he won the 1998 presidential election. He's a man that cared about us, this woman says. He did not give anything to me, but he gave it to my people. During his presidency, Chávez was very critical of the U.S. He objected to the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and during this United Nations speech, even referred to President George W. Bush as the devil.
Yesterday, the devil came here, right here. And it smells of sulfur still today.
But Chávez also saw his fair share of protests, strikes, and coup attempts. He used his country's oil to form connections with world powers and developed relationships with Iran and Cuba. In 2011, he was diagnosed with cancer. After several surgeries and chemotherapy, Chávez claimed he had recovered, and in 2012 won another term in office. Chávez ran Venezuela for more than 14 years as a virtual one-man show. For any successor, it will be a hard act to follow. Brandy Hitt, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And that was a look at the rise of power of Hugo Chávez. So just recapping what has happened so far, Hugo Chávez dead at the age of 58. We had heard last night he had some respiratory issues, that his situation had gotten much more serious, but then obviously today his death?
Well, frankly, I don't want to sound too skeptical, but who knows when Hugo Chávez actually died. He could have been dead for a couple of days, and they may have been trying to arrange the story and also create a line of succession. We really don't know. There's just a lot we don't know, except the Associated Press is reporting that Hugo Chávez of Venezuela is dead.
The last photographs that we saw of him were released in February, but the photographs were actually taken in December when he was in Havana for his last treatment.
With his daughters, those photos?
Yes. And so those are the last photographs that we've seen taken in December, so that theory may well hold some water. He may not have might not have been today.
Getting information out of Venezuela and Cuba, as you know.
Let's talk, can we talk local for a moment?
Exactly,
The Venezuelan community in South Florida is enormous and has gone through, lately, the most recent elections, they've had their share of, can I say, slaps in the face from their country.
They have indeed. I mean, we should point out that the Venezuelan consulate in Miami was closed several months ago, and in this last election in October, thousands of Venezuelans who live here had to go to New Orleans to vote. And Glenna, to your point, I am sure right now there is a celebration in Doral. We have a crew that is out there getting there soon. Also in Weston, I mean, these are concentrations of Venezuelans, as I say, who fled from an authoritarian dictator who was making life for the bourgeoisie in Venezuela very difficult.
Again, 58-year-old Venezuelan President Hugo Chávez has died. That, according to AP News, straight from the Vice President of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro. We have team coverage on this and crews spread out throughout the community. We'll be back with more. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll continue to monitor any developments out of Venezuela.
The Stars Will Fall, Tuesday, March 19th on ABC.
Calvin is an excellent journalist, but he also has a big heart.
You guys are bringing tears to my eyes. This is great. Would you walk with me?
He showed you not only is he a great journalist, but he's a great human being.
The Miami Fine Chocolate and Food Show this weekend at Pinecrest Gardens. Sample chocolate from the country's top chocolatiers, try gourmet foods, sip craft beer, wines, and spirits, see live cooking demonstrations. Visit MiamiFineFoodShow.com.
Welcome to the #1 for everyone sales event. I'm Jan.
Hi, we're here for another Camry. They're super dependable. Sort of hand them down. He's got the 04, he's got the 94.
And you got the 84, right?
No, Dad holds tight to the 84. You guys ready?
Yeah. That's my guy.
Right now, lease a new 2013 Toyota Camry for only $199 a month. That's just $199 a month on a new Toyota Camry. Toyota, let's go places.
Now get high-speed internet at home on our newly expanded Advanced Digital Network, a connection you can count on. AT&T UVerse high-speed internet offers more speed options, reliability, and Wi-Fi hotspots than ever. Call AT&T now to get UVerse high-speed internet for as little as $14.95 a month for 12 months with a 1-year price guarantee. It's the fastest internet for the price. Our newly expanded Advanced Digital Network gives you more of what you enjoy online. And with AT&T, our wireless gateway turns your home into a private Wi-Fi hotspot that connects your Wi-Fi devices and can even save on your smartphone data usage at home. So call now to get AT&T UVerse high-speed internet for just $14.95 a month for 12 months with a 1-year price guarantee. That includes access on the go to our entire national Wi-Fi hotspot network with over 30,000 hotspots. AT&T UVerse high-speed internet, now on our newly expanded Advanced Digital Network, a connection your whole house can count on.
North Trail RV Center has South Florida's largest selection of new and used gas and diesel motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers, and toy haulers. All sizes of RVs, from affordable entry-level campers to luxurious motor coaches. Top brands featuring Newmar, Tiffin, Fleetwood, Winnebago, Jayco, and Thor. View our entire inventory online at www.northtrailrv.com. North Trail RV Center in Fort Lauderdale, I-95, exit 23, Griffin Road.
Thanks to fuel perks from Winn-Dixie, grocery shopping just went from boring to... Because with bonus items, your fuel perks will save you even more on gas. Each item is worth from 5 to 50 cents off every gallon.
Bonus!
And with hundreds of new bonus items all over the store, your gas savings will add up faster and easier than ever.
Bonus!
Come into Winn-Dixie or go online to find out more.
Bonus!
At Hair Cuttery, we want you to love your look. If you aren't 100% delighted with the service you've received, we'll do whatever it takes until you are smiling back in the mirror at the new you. Hair Cuttery. Smart looks, smart prices.
We continue to follow this developing news. Hugo Chávez, the president of Venezuela, has died. That, according to the Vice President Nicolás Maduro, announcing that on television in Venezuela, in telling the country that they will inform them of the funeral plans and how they will pay homage to their long-term president in the coming days and weeks. But for right now, saying all honor and glory to Hugo Chávez, the 58-year-old, dead in Venezuela.
And he had been fighting for his life for months, as we know, but and as far as today, we understand he was fighting a severe infection. But right before this newscast, right around at 5 o'clock, we got word that he had died from cancer. We're going to continue to monitor the story. Any new developments coming out of Venezuela, of course, we'll bring them your way.
Let's bring you back home here now to other news tonight. Troubled waters for a cargo ship at Port Everglades after stacks and stacks of shipping containers tumbled on top of each other in rough seas. The Coast Guard says that ship actually lost 22 of those containers out in the ocean.
And it appears no one was hurt. Local 10's Ron Gelosi is live now at Port Everglades with much more for us. Roger.
We are witnessing a very delicate operation here as crews try to remove these containers from the ship without the entire stack falling over. Take a look behind me and you can see they're using that big crane to take these containers off of this one by one. They're all locked together, so they've got to stabilize one container, release it from the pile, and then take it off. And they have to do it in a way that the weight of the entire load doesn't shift to make the whole thing fall over. They've got about 20 of these containers that they've got to remove here. But remember, a lot of this ship's cargo is floating in the Atlantic Ocean right now.
The ship was traveling from Jacksonville to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, carrying consumables, food, and other goods, several vehicles too. Around 1 yesterday afternoon, about 18 miles off of Key Biscayne, for reasons the Coast Guard's still trying to figure out, several stacks of the containers on the back of the barge shifted, and 22 of them were hurled overboard into the ocean.
Well, normally they take steps to make sure that everything is secured on the vessel. However, sometimes accidents do occur. We aren't reporting that it is an accident right now. Like I said, it's still under investigation.
The captain made an emergency decision to turn around and bring the big boat and its crippled cargo to Port Everglades, where crews will work to stabilize the containers, remove and restack them. The ship is owned by Transatlantic Lines out of Greenwich, Connecticut. Its vessels routinely chartered to deliver cargo to Gitmo. The co-founder of the company told us over the phone that nothing militarily sensitive was on board. However, the Coast Guard says some hazardous materials were dumped into the sea, like gasoline. Crews are working to locate the containers that fell overboard and mark them with strobe lights so they're visible to other vessels in the shipping lanes.
Right now our concern is to contain it, to make sure that we still have a free flow of traffic for vessels, and to make sure that anything that has spilled out is contained and cleaned up.
And you are looking there live at one of the very edge, the bottom corner of the bottom container that is essentially holding the entire weight of all of this stack that is leaning over to the left. One wrong move and the whole thing could just topple. Again, they've got salvage crews here with this massive crane that is taking these containers off one by one. They've also got Broward Sheriff's Fire Rescue on scene here just in case there are any accidents, and hopefully nobody gets hurt. But again, they've got about 20 of these containers that they're going to take off one by one, and they are going to be out here for probably several more hours here tonight. Lori, Calvin.
Roger Gelosi live for us at Port Everglades. Roger, thanks a lot.
A grass fire that burned this afternoon in southwest Miami-Dade. You may have seen all the smoke. Well, it's now been contained. That fire was located out on Chrome Avenue between 88th Street and 136th Street. Street. Sky 10 was over the scene as Miami-Dade fire rescue crews were putting out those flames. And Chrome Avenue was shut down, but we're glad to report this evening by rush hour it is back open.
A boat explosion in Deerfield Beach sent the captain of that ship to the hospital today. Sky 10 was over the scene in the 900 block of Hillsborough Mile. You can see fire rescue on the board here, the boat and smoke coming out there. The boat was a 65-foot Viking, and authorities say the captain was trying to clean the engine with a flammable substance when this explosion happened in the engine room. It caused a significant blast and was immediately contained. The captain was taken to Broward Health North with extensive burns.
And we have some breaking news in today's It's Your Money. The Dow is closing at a record, beating the previous high set in October of 2007. Look at that closing number, 14,253. That other high was right before the financial crisis and the Great Recession. The Dow Jones rose 126 points there, you see, or 1%. 14,253 to close out. That beats the previous record by 89 points. What a day to see.
And we continue to follow this big breaking news story now, the death of Hugo Chávez. We're getting local reaction, but right now we do understand that Hugo Chávez dead at the age of 58 after battling what was called a new and severe infection, stressing that his overall condition had remained delicate for most of the day today and overnight last night. But these are some pictures of Hugo Chávez before his considerable health decline. But he did have 4 surgeries in Cuba, and then tried to recover, but then last night it was a situation that the folks around him, the number 2 person in charge, Nicolas Maduro, said that Chávez apparently was unable to win the battle against cancer.
The vice president making a statement to the Venezuelan people on Venezuelan TV just about an hour ago, and our translation basically said that they will inform the people of funeral plans and how they will pay homage to the longtime leader in the days to come. But for now, all honor and glory to Hugo Chávez. That on satellite national television in Venezuela just within the last hour.
And we once again are continuing to follow local developments in this in Weston and in Doral. We'll have a live report coming up very soon. But for now, we're back in just a moment.
Nobody does what Papa John's does.
For just $11, get Papa's new steak and cheese pizza, topped with premium steak. Try one today, or choose any large Papa John's pizza, even specialties, only $11. That's any large pizza, only $11.
One of the hardest things for me was having my son say, "Mommy, you look like you have mustard on your teeth."
Do you struggle with missing or failing teeth?
I love my children, and I wanted them to be proud of me as a mom, not embarrassed of me.
Now you can get your new teeth in a single day and change your life thanks to Clear Choice Dental Implant Centers, America's #1 choice.
The reason that we went to Clear Choice was that they offered the service in one day. I smile all the time, and I have beautiful teeth. Are you kidding? My son was like, "Wow, Mom, that's amazing. They look awesome." I mean, who can go and get teeth like this in one day?
Call now to receive your free consultation and learn how Clear Choice can change your life in a single day with permanent teeth that look and feel like natural teeth.
It changed our lives. They make me like who I see in the mirror.
Call now to book your no-obligation free consultation or schedule online at clearchoice.com.
How much can Steiger Isco and Green get you? After an accident?
Don't sign anything until you call Steiger Isco and Green.
The insurance company tried to get Margot to settle quick. She said, "Hold on, wait a second. Before I sign anything, I'm calling Steiger Isco and Green."
Margot did call us.
And we got her $361,000. $361,000? That's serious money.
Injured in a car accident?
Be smart. Call us today.
How much can Steiger Isco and Green get you?
1-800-561-1111. Non-lawyer spokespersons.
When you need a car, truck or van, who you gonna call? Auto Nation!
Welcome to I Love My New Car Nation. Welcome to Hassle-Free Nation. Welcome to Auto Nation, with hundreds of locations coast to coast, where you get a low upfront price, a money-back guarantee, and 7-day service. Marooney is now Auto Nation. Welcome.
Right now at Rooms to Go, you can get these beautiful living rooms for just $999. That's great, but during our 22nd anniversary sale, they're also easier than ever to buy. Thanks to special new anniversary financing. Now get this living room for just $20 a month, interest-free. That's right, beautiful living rooms like this for just $20 a month. Or this one, just $20 a month, interest-free. Right now at the Rooms to Go 22nd anniversary sale.
Nobody does what Papa John's does.
For just $11, get Papa's new steak and cheese pizza, topped with premium steak. Try one today, or choose any large Papa John's pizza, even specialties, only $11. That's any large pizza, only $11.
We continue following breaking news right now. The death of Hugo Chávez, the long-serving president of Venezuela. 14 years he dominated politics in that country. And today we understand that his respiratory condition had grown severe and a new infection that he was battling overnight apparently became much worse. And there are pictures of him apparently when he won his first term as president of Venezuela. And there he is at the microphone there. But his condition apparently worsened overnight. And today we understand sometime this afternoon, Hugo Chávez died, and dead at the age of 58.
Joining us by phone right now is Carlos Pereira, the president of the Venezuelan American Democratic Club. Carlos, thank you for your time, and tell us what kind of reaction you have to this. Do you think this really just happened in the last hour?
Oh, I'm really in shock because, like you, first I want to say hello to Lori, to Kelly. I only, like 25 minutes ago, I received the news from Venezuela, the president that passed away. And really, the reaction to the local people, I think that is the same. It's the shock, okay, about that. But really, the Venezuelan people, I don't know. You can find different reaction. Maybe somebody is happy, you know, because suffer a lot bad things from this government because it was 14 years, the persecutions. People and civilians that don't agree with the government and the communists and the socialists that Chavez wanna do in Venezuela. Really, I can tell you that in my case, you know, I think that when somebody dead, it's not something for do a party, you know, it's not something for celebrate, okay? It's really more a reflection time that the people has to do, and really the people have to learn the values about the democracy, about the liberty, about the things, and in the future, okay, we have to watch what happened in Venezuela, really.
Carlos, can I interrupt you? It's Michael Putney. Thank you for joining us. Let me ask you, do you think that there should be a new election now, or do you think that Nicolas Maduro should take over as the president of Venezuela?
No, really, they have to call, okay, for our election again, okay, because the Constitution in Venezuela, okay, say that in case that the president, okay, dead, or the president is not available, okay, for do the job, okay, they have to do a re-election, you know. Maybe Maduro will be the candidate for the socialist communist part, but for sure the opposition, okay, to the Venezuelan government, they do a primaries, and maybe they select to somebody for run against Maduro in the next election. But the election is coming for sure because the Constitution say that. If the election is not coming, really is very bad, because it is against the Constitution, you know, and in that case is when the international community can pronounce about that, or the USA government or whatever government.
And Carlos, is it fair to say that Chavez leaves behind a divided nation?
What he leaves behind really a destruction, okay, of the structure, a destruction of the economy in the country, a destruction on the values. You know, we never, the Venezuelans never be immigrants people. You know, we really receive immigrants in Venezuela. You know, he transferred to us, okay, in immigrants. You know, and really United States now I'm a citizen here, and is my land, my daughter born here, but really the only legacy, okay, that the Chavez government leaves in Venezuela is the destruction. It's the destruction of the values. You know, we always we was a people that love the United States. You know, and they poison the persons and the people there for hate the United States. The United States is the bad empire and everything. You know, it's a distortion of the real values that the Venezuelan people have. Really, it's a destruction in the moral. It's a moral destruction. It's an economic destruction. It's a political destruction. It's really the country is in the floor.
Carlos, thank you so much for your time. You've been great to join us by phone, and we wish the best, of course, for the Venezuelan people, both here and in Venezuela. Carlos Pereira, the head of the Venezuelan American Democratic Club, we do thank you for your time. Hugo Chávez, dead at the age of 58. Our live team coverage continues.
My girlfriend asked me how I keep my carpet so clean, and I said, why, quite, of course, and that's what I told her.
Now save a full 35% on carpet, drapery, upholstery, air duct, tile and grout, and natural stone cleaning.
Call for Coit.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
Find 3 ways to quit at tobaccofreeflorida.com. BrandSmart USA is having a huge end-of-winter sale. This Kobe 7-inch tablet is just $79.88. A Samsung Galaxy 7-inch 8-gig tablet is only $177.99. Panasonic's Blu-ray player is now just $69.88. Get a Video 32-inch LCD TV for a low $199.88. Buy this 50-inch LED 1080p TV for $499.88. Own a Westinghouse 60-inch LCD TV for just $699.88. BrandSmart USA, of course, your favorite brands at low prices.
The Miami Fine Chocolate and Food Show this weekend at Pinecrest Gardens. Sample chocolate from the country's top chocolatiers. Try gourmet foods. Sip craft beer, wines, and spirits. See live cooking demonstrations. Visit MiamiFineFoodShow.com.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Levitt Weinstein Memorial Chapels and Cemeteries, the most trusted name in funeral and cemetery services for over 100 years. You're watching Local 10, home of Local10.com. WPLG Local 10 News at 5:30 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. We continue to follow the breaking news of the night. It is news that we were waiting to hear for quite a while now, but now confirmation from the Vice President of Venezuela that Hugo Chávez, the longtime president, has died.
He had been suffering from an infection, we understand it, but apparently it worsened overnight, and now the president of Venezuela dead at the age of 58 after dominating Venezuelan politics for some 14 years.
And also having a huge influence on neighboring countries as well, and of course being the protege of Fidel Castro, and there are a lot of Cubans. And I think that what happens in Venezuela next, probably Cuba has a huge interest, because Cuba has been subsidized, their economy has been subsidized all during the reign of Hugo Chávez by oil from Venezuela. Cuba gets the oil, it uses some, but it sells the rest on the world markets and uses the cash to help subsidize the country.
And Michael Putney, of course, and Glenna Milberg, you were working on a story about Hugo Chávez today, thinking that this could possibly happen, but obviously no one knew.
Truth be told, I was working on 2 stories today. One was the announcement today by the Vice President of a worsening condition and the fact that Venezuela wants to expel an American diplomat. And the second thing I was working on was actually the obituary of Hugo Chávez, which is something that's not unusual for news organizations to do, to have one ready in the can, as we say, to have it go. And then just before our 5 o'clock newscast, I want to say about 4:40 came the announcement from the military hospital where Chávez has been for the last 2 weeks in Caracas that he had in fact died.
I have some news here we're getting reaction from members of Congress. Here is a statement I just got from Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart of Miami. And as you might imagine, like a lot of Cuban Americans, this is not an unhappy day. Congressman Diaz-Balart, let me read just a bit of this, says for more than a decade the Venezuelan people have suffered under the authoritarian rule of Hugo Chávez. He cracked down on freedom of the press and arrested judges and opposition leaders who didn't agree with him. Additionally, he used petrodollars stolen from the Venezuelan people to extend his influence and fund the sinister agendas of cruel dictators like Castro, Ahmadinejad, and Assad. He says now there is hope for the restoration of freedom in Venezuela. That statement from Miami Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart.
And Congresswoman Ileana Ros-Lehtinen adding to that, Michael, in a statement just released, saying that this is an opportunity for democracy in Venezuela. And she so hopes that the Venezuelan people will now use their opportunity to emerge from this oppressive regime and regain their democracy and human rights. But whether that can really happen will be seen.
You know, what's so interesting to see is South Florida lawmakers, especially South Florida Cuban American lawmakers, have come out so strongly for their constituents against people like Hugo Chávez just as strongly as against Fidel Castro for their own personal reasons. And the trajectory that Hugo Chávez has taken as a leader so much parallels that of Fidel Castro, right down to his turning ill and disappearing and the wondering where he was when he would appear in public, what his health was like. The parallels are amazing, really.
Glenna, and we have Ross Palumbo standing by live on the breaking news desk. But before we get to him, I'm curious, were you able to talk to experts today to sort of get some idea of what his legacy is going to be?
Honestly, we didn't talk legacy just yet. Today was all about the moment. Where is he? What is he doing? We spoke a little bit about it before. There are a very large contingent of people who were convinced Hugo Chávez has been dead longer than the last hour. And we talked a lot about that today and about his health and the news and how they're so carefully managing the information that comes out of Caracas.
Oh, yes.
Let's see what Ross Palumbo has for us. Ross, you're there on the breaking news desk. What are you learning?
Well, we're learning right now that Doral is taking precautions if there happens to be large crowds gathering in that area along 72nd Avenue. You're looking at pictures right now from Sky 10 HD above. It doesn't look like many people are assembling yet, but from 36th Street to 39th Street, the police are prepared to shut down this intersection. The mayor of Doral, Luigi Boria, and the chief of police of Doral, Richard Bloom, say that they have contingency plans in place to have police in that area. Again, the area we're talking about is along 72nd Avenue from 36th Street to 39th Street, but Calvin, Lori, you can tell at this moment it doesn't look too congested. We'll see how this develops throughout the evening, though.
You know, Doral is actually the largest number of Venezuelan expats in the United States, right there in Doral. Most of them, I suppose, if not all of them, living in Doral because of their dislike for the policies and politics and processes under Hugo Chávez.
Michael, we have always expected that when the day comes that Fidel Castro dies, that Cuban Americans will take to the streets and celebrate. So many of them will, and yet here we're kind of waiting to see the reaction from local Venezuelans.
Well, these are working men and women, moms and dads, and maybe their moms are at home getting dinner ready, but I'm sure that they are following this news closely. And I imagine in the next hour, we are going to begin to see in sort of the central city in Doral, you're going to see people out there, and I think that predictably it's going to be a celebration. These people, the expatriates, the Venezuelans who fled from Venezuela because of Hugo Chávez, are going to celebrate not necessarily Chávez's death, but the possibility of the return of democracy to Venezuela. It's still alive there, but it's kind of weak. It's on life support.
We may see a real reaction from college students as well. We saw that when the last election occurred. They really rallied people to get on their buses and get to New Orleans to cast their vote.
Well, I'm sure that they will. You know, we need to point out, for not that I'm any expert on Venezuela, but this was what Chavez called a Bolivarian revolution, named after Simón Bolívar, the famous man who struck for freedom, created a free Venezuela. But it was socialist. I mean, it was proudly socialist, and it was anti-American. Part of the contradiction here is that the United States takes 1/5 of all the oil imports into the United States come from Venezuela. So as much as the United States has been at odds with Hugo Chavez and his regime, we have needed their oil, and we have received their oil. And in fact, there is one chain of gas stations in this country which is owned by the Venezuelan government.
Michael, if I can just sort of backtrack a little bit, I wanted to touch on something that both Ross and Glenna talked about. Doral population is made up of about 67% Hispanics, of which Venezuelans make up the second largest group with about 12.2%. That's according to the 2000 census. So that is just to give you some idea of just how large that population is in, in Doral.
And sure, but of course, if that's the 2000 census, you can be sure that it's more like 80%, I would guess, at this point. Doral is just overwhelmingly a Venezuelan community.
It was the mayor who did want to have the first language be Spanish speaking about a month ago, but that didn't quite go over.
Well, he actually said the second official language of Doral.
Which it already
semantics.
is.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, many might say that if you drive through there, you got to speak it first. But
Well, certainly so much attention in our community on this breaking news of Hugo Chávez's death in Venezuela. We will take a quick break here and come back with more of our team coverage.
This Thursday through Sunday,
it's a massive RV show at Sun Life Stadium.
See hundreds of new motorhomes, trailers, and fifth wheels, plus millions of dollars worth of used RVs.
Free admission and parking.
This Thursday through Sunday only. It's a massive RV show at Sun Life Stadium.
When you think of community, do you picture a place with a gate and a romantic name? Or do you see people and families that share a common connection? At City Furniture, we believe the best way to build a community is to be part of one. Find out more at cityfurniture.com.
People always ask me, are your pizzas really made with better ingredients? Taste the quality of our new steak and cheese pizza, and you see for yourself. Nobody does what Papa John's does.
For just $11, get Papa's new steak and cheese pizza, topped with premium steak and creamy garlic Parmesan sauce. Try one today, or choose any large Papa John's pizza, even specialties, just $11. That's right, taste Papa John's quality with any large pizza, only $11.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Are you seeing this, bruh?
Yeah.
Health food shows, man? Oh, man. Come on.
Jennifer and I are eating better, so we use Uverse to record some healthier food shows.
Oh, man.
It's not bad. You'll see when you come over tonight.
Discover something new. Call to get Uverse TV for $19 for 24 months when you order a qualified triple play bundle. Now get the same great price for 2 years. And now 2 times the internet speed. Plus get a total home DVR included for life.
So many choices with these recipes.
Hey, where can I get pear squash?
Let's use our AT&T high-speed internet to quickly find out.
Call to get Uverse TV for $19 for 24 months when you order a qualified triple play bundle. Now get the same great price for 2 years. And now 2 times the internet speed. Plus get a total home DVR included for life.
That was good. Where'd you learn to cook like that?
Uverse. Everything you need to broaden your palate. AT&T.
I started smoking my freshman year. By the time I was 19, my throat was really scratchy. I never thought that I would be so sick so quickly. I didn't realize that such a seemingly small decision would have such a big impact on my life. that I do now, and now it's too late.
This Thursday through Sunday, it's a massive RV show at Sun Life Stadium. See hundreds of new motorhomes, trailers, and fifth wheels, plus millions of dollars worth of used RVs. Free admission and parking. This Thursday through Sunday only. It's a massive RV show at Sun Life Stadium.
And right now we continue to monitor the latest events happening out of Venezuela right now. We understand that Hugo Chávez, the long-serving president of the country, has died at the age of 58 after battling a respiratory infection that apparently worsened. His condition worsened overnight. Dead at the age of 58, and right now the country is just looking to find out which way it's going to go politically, Lori.
We're getting a lot of reaction from our South Florida politicians in Congress, all hoping that this can be an opportunity for democracy and change in Venezuela. Only time will tell. You're looking live from Sky 10 at the center of Doral along 72nd Avenue between 36th and 39th Street. Kind of a major intersection there where the police chief and the mayor are just keeping an eye. If people decide to come out after they get home from work and come out to bring their reaction to either celebrate or mourn tonight, the city of Doral is ready for that and ready to close down part of that area if need be.
And we do have some news out of Venezuela. The Associated Press now is reporting that Venezuela's defense minister is pledging the military there will remain loyal to the Constitution, he says, in the wake of the death of Chavez. Admiral Diego Molero appeared on national television to appeal to, quote, unity, tranquility, and understanding among Venezuelans. He says troops will safeguard the sovereignty of the country. The troops of the military, a powerful force in Venezuela, of course, has been loyal to Chavez because he comes out of the military, and what the military does there will certainly have a huge influence on the next step, whatever happens.
And reaction is coming in, of course, by the minute here. This is also from the AP Wire as well, but we do have crews fanned out across South Florida to get the latest reaction. We'll have that for you in just moments. But first, the AP Wire said Venezuelans living in the U.S. are reacting with cautious optimism that there will be change in their homeland following President Hugo Chávez's death. In the Miami suburb of Doral, Venezuelans watched on television as the country's #2 person, Nicolas Maduro, announced that Chavez had died on Tuesday.
And Michael, you mentioned the military. Our reporter Janine Stanwood was able to speak to a friend of hers there in Venezuela who told her by phone that she wonders if the military will be occupying the streets tonight, that neighbors in her area are excited, on edge, that cautious optimism you're talking about, Calvin, and you can only imagine how nerve-wracking this is for people, but certainly how the military responds will be very telling.
I am sure the Venezuelan military will be out. Maybe they will not be that visible because I think a lot of that country is in mourning. Let's not forget that he was, however he configured the Constitution of Venezuela, he was elected and reelected last October with 55% of the vote. But the military and the police, I'm sure, will be out tonight in Caracas and throughout the country.
And Glenna, just 2 months after winning, he had a very solemn address to the people of Venezuela saying, look, I need yet another surgery for my cancer. In Cuba is where he got it.
And he actually, that was after telling his people he was cured twice. He wanted to keep them very optimistic. He was wrong, obviously, but I think what you saw was a man who was very sick for a long time. We saw the first pictures of him bald after his chemotherapy, very late afterwards, and you saw a face of optimism every time you did see him. This is the United Nations speech.
Yeah, I was just going to say that was Chavez at the United Nations during the last year of the George W. Bush presidency, and it was there where he said, after President Bush had appeared shortly before, he said, there is a smell of sulfur here by the podium, and it was clearly a hugely disrespectful comment to President Bush and the United States.
And called him the devil, basically, or Satan.
Can I give you a little sports news? David Lang, our executive sports producer, is putting out word that, the Venezuelan team is here for the World Baseball Classic in Jupiter, playing the Marlins tonight. And they have requested that the Venezuelan flag be flown at half-staff. and they have requested a moment of silence at that game tonight.
And we will be there. Glenna Milberg and our senior political reporter, Michael Putney, right here with us for our team coverage. We do have crews spanned out across the area, especially in Doral and Weston, to bring you any reaction as it comes in to the death of Venezuelan President Hugo Chávez.
And now we'd like to bring you some other news of the day. Controversy is now brewing over the proposed construction of a pedestrian bridge near the University of Miami. And officials want to build the bridge over US 1 after several students were killed and injured trying to cross the busy street.
But right now, that project is really at a standstill. Here's Local 10's Sasha Andrade with the reason behind the roadblock.
The University of Miami and this neighboring strip mall are at a crossroads over how to get pedestrians safely across US 1.
It's dangerous. I do come from New Jersey, where we do have a lot of other highways, but I've never seen anything like US 1.
Since the 80s, a handful of students have been hit by cars. 3 of them have died.
Everybody feels really affected by it.
I have had to deal on any number of occasions with parents that have lost their children because of crossing US 1.
And so UM wants to build a pedestrian bridge over US 1 at Mariposa.
Get an overpass, and so students will have an option that they will not have to cross the way they do today.
The problem is the county needs consent from the property across the street, and the university center owner says no. The problem with putting a pedestrian crosswalk right here is that it blocks the view. Drivers traveling along US 1 won't be able to see these business signs. The walkway would also take up 5 of its much-needed parking spaces, which University Center is not willing to give up. The property's attorney suggests moving the bridge 500 feet to the south, which would put it on UM property.
The natural crossing into and out of the station is at that location.
The county has the right to try and force the issue by fighting for eminent domain, but at this point, they are most likely going to opt for the path of least resistance.
Unless the owner has a change of mind in the next couple of weeks, we've pretty much abandoned that location.
Sasha Andrade, Local 10.
That was Sasha reporting. Thank you to her, and our continuing coverage is here for you throughout the night, throughout this next newscast at 6 p.m. as we continue to cover the death of Venezuelan President Hugo Chávez. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Call Paul Baines Roofing today for your free pre-storm inspection. Paul Baines Roofing, 954-981-ROOF.
Memorial Hospital Miramar's Bladder Health Program specializes in treating and curing bladder health issues.
One time I was walking in a parking lot and just all of a sudden I completely lost control of my bladder. That's when I knew that I needed to do something about it. And I saw my urologist in Boca, and he recommended that I see Dr. Goose.
Stress urinary incontinence is a very common disorder. 1 out of 3 women are affected by the disorder. And the way to treat it, one can use a synthetic mesh as a backboard of support or your own tissue to actually support the urethra and the sphincter, and therefore preventing urinary leakage associated with coughing, sneezing, laughing, or exercising.
I mean, I don't think about it anymore. I got like a new lease on life.
To learn more, visit bladder-health.com or call toll-free 855-647-4876.
My son, when he was younger, had developed some allergies, and I had heard that cleaning air ducts was a good thing to do, and Coit was advertising, and we tried them out, and they did a fantastic job in cleaning the air ducts.
Now save 35% on all Coit cleaning services: carpet, drapery, upholstery, air duct, and tile and grout cleaning.
I'm a real nurse, a real mom, and a really satisfied Coit customer.
People you trust Coit.
The taste of a fresh nut. Nuts About Florida.
When life seems to be moving fast, there is a place you can go where time stands still. At Nassau Paradise Island in the Bahamas. where the whitest sand beaches, turquoise waters, and local smiles fill your days. Visit NassauParadiseIsland.com for complete details and explore all of our incredible resort options. Plus, receive up to $300 instant savings for travel. There's never been a better time to get away. This offer ends March 11th.
How much can Steiger Isco and Green get you? This accident turned Richard's life upside down.
So he called Steiger, Isco, and Green. They got Richard $160,000.
Steiger, Isco, and Green got $69,000 for this crash.
$235,000 for this accident.
That's real money for real people. Steiger turned this crash into $1.3 million.
Wow, that's serious money.
If you've been injured in a car accident,
call Steiger, Isco, and Green.
How much can Steiger, Isco, and Green get you?
1-800-561-1111. Non-lawyer spokespersons.
And welcome back as we follow the big news of the day today, the death of Hugo Chávez, and he is dead at the age of 58.
Let's get right to Ross Palumbo on our breaking news desk with some of the latest developments and some of your comments coming in.
Well, that's right, Calvin and Lori. Our Facebook page is literally blowing up. More than 135 people responding to the news of Hugo Chávez's death. The first one coming from Tiffany Bendayan. She writing, "Yay, finally, the devil is gone." We have more reaction from Terry Fernando Newton. That person writes, "A change is about to come, a renewing for the country." Also reaction coming from someone named Bill Bro. That person writing, "Thank goodness for the Venezuelan people." Mike Perez writes, "One dictator less. Let's open up the good old stuff. Cheers." And Kathy Brundage Scott writing, "Rest in peace, question mark. Maybe now his country can be in peace." We have more than 435 people liking our coverage and the news of Hugo Chávez's passing earlier today. We do know that there is going to be plenty of reaction, most likely centering around Doral, and we have Sky 10 HD above Doral right now. We want to tell you that the area along 72nd Avenue that you see here from 36th Street to 39th Street, it doesn't look so congested at this moment, but the mayor of Doral and Doral police have a plan to shut down this area if crowds grow to some extreme size. We do know that the restaurant, Paso Dos, that is sort of the Versailles of the Venezuelan people, that will be the center of activity tonight. We do know that dozens of people are already gathering in that area, but along the road here, along 72nd Avenue from 36th to 39th, Calvin and Lori, it doesn't look like it's too bad, even with traffic at this hour, just around 6 o'clock. Of course, we'll monitor this for you and bring you the very latest throughout the newscast.
Okay, Ross, we thank you for that, and we will have a live report coming from Doral at the top of the hour. We're going to take a quick break, and we're back in a moment.
You're watching Local 10, home of Local10.com. WPLG Local 10 News at 6 o'clock starts now.
And we continue monitoring breaking news regarding the death of Venezuelan President Hugo Chávez, who lost his battle with cancer. That happened late this afternoon. And good evening, everyone.
I'm Lori Jennings along with Calvin Hughes, and we have our senior political reporter, Michael Putney, right here to begin our team coverage. This is a huge day for locals here throughout our community, as well as Venezuelans. And there is kind of a mixed reaction coming already and a cautious optimism, because it's such a chance, Michael, for a change in this country. But then again, it may be more of the same.
Well, we just don't know. There are many things we don't know. We don't know, in fact, when Hugo Chávez actually died. Could have been today, could have been a couple of days ago. But I think that the optimism has some basis in reality. Without Chávez, even though he certainly has a strong political following there, and certainly a lot of Venezuelans loved him, respected him, but there are so many people in Venezuela and so many people here who detest Hugo Chávez. The emails, the comments on Facebook that are being posted on our website that Ross Palumbo just wrote, let me tell you, there will not be many tears shed in Miami and throughout South Florida for Hugo Chávez.
But Michael, in the country of Venezuela, there was one of his followers wrote, with Chávez everything, without Chávez nothing. So what does that say for the number 2 person who will likely run for the top spot without the charismatic leader, and some say without his connection to the poor like Chávez had?
Well, what that quote tells me is that this is the cult of the caudillo, which has been the curse of so many Latin American countries in the past, which is where men are more important than laws. One of the great things about the United States is that we are a country of laws, and our Constitution prevails. Venezuela has a Constitution, but it is anybody's guess whether it will be followed, because we believe that it now calls for a new election.
30 days after the president's death is what it's supposed to be.
The Constitution does call for that, but Venezuelans everywhere, and certainly right here across South Florida, are wondering what will come in their homeland. Glenna Milberg joins us now with a look back at the life of Hugo Chávez. Glenna?
Lori, Calvin, Michael, the official word of Chávez's death came just before 5 o'clock. That was literally hours after the vice president came forward with details of his illness just late this afternoon. What we do know for certain, now that he is dead, he was a very charismatic leader, and as you had referenced, he was loved by many and hated by so many as well.
They called him outspoken, charismatic. Venezuelan President Hugo Chávez appeared to never back down from a challenge. Chávez's rise to power was a rocky one. Born in an impoverished neighborhood, he joined a military academy and began pushing for social reform. But his first attempt backfired in 1992 when he helped stage a military coup to overthrow the Venezuelan government and failed. After 2 years in prison, Chávez went from soldier to politician, and he won. He did not give anything to me, but he gave it to my people, she says. During his presidency, Chávez was very critical of the United States. He objected to the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and during this United Nations speech, he even referred to President George W. Bush as the devil.
Yesterday, the devil came here. Right here. And it smells of sulfur still today.
But Chávez also saw his fair share of protests, strikes, and coup attempts. He used his country's oil to form connections with world powers and developed relationships with Iran and Cuba. In 2011, Chávez was diagnosed with cancer. After several surgeries and chemotherapy, Chávez claimed he had recovered. He was wrong. And in 2012, he won another term in office. Chávez ran Venezuela for more than 14 years as a virtual one-man show. For any successor, he will be a hard act to follow.
And we here with you are watching developments, so we know what is to follow. But here's what's supposed to follow. According to the Venezuelan Constitution, there are supposed to be elections within the next 30 days. The vice president, Nicolas Maduro, will be the interim leader until then. However, Michael, Calvin, and Lori, as you know, Chávez, when he was ill in Havana in December, sort of anointed the vice president as his successor then.
And we will see how this election plays out and what opposition leader comes to rise into this. Glenna, thank you so much. And just a short time ago, about 18 hours ago, there was this tweet from one of Chávez's daughters. It basically translates to say, "My country, don't be sad. Raising our prayers and do not lose for one instant our faith. All my love and my strength for all of you." And there, of course, there also was this photo of Chávez taken with his two daughters. This was just released in the last couple of weeks. As soon as there were reports that Chávez was brain dead, and those started emerging. But you see the date here, February 14th was the first time this came to light. But in fact, we learned that these photos were taken back in December when Chávez was recovering from his 4th cancer surgery in Havana.
A photo released in a country where image is everything when you're talking politics. Well, South Florida is home to a very large Venezuelan population, some who were very vocal against Chávez.
In fact, many traveled to New Orleans, you'll recall, to vote in Venezuela's latest election after Chávez ordered the consulate in Miami to be shut down. Our own J.C. Birch is live tonight in Doral, gathering reaction to Chávez's death.
Lori, we're at 3900 Northwest 79th Avenue. This is El Arepaso 2, and it's a popular Venezuelan restaurant. Now, so far, we haven't seen a lot of people turning out to gather to talk about this, but the media is here in full force. We can show you right inside all the Spanish stations, the network stations, the AP, of course, Channel 10, and all the local stations, but not a lot of people here at the restaurant. We did just try and talk to the mayor. Of course, he's being hounded by everyone. He is Venezuelan, and he's the new mayor of Doral, and he was talking about his feelings regarding everything that's going on, and his main priority right now is to keep everything safe. Now, even though it's quiet and we're not seeing a lot of people here at this Venezuelan restaurant, they do think people are going to turn out in full force, possibly celebrating the possibility of democracy in Venezuela tonight when people get off work and when they're returning home to be with their families. So there is a plan in place to shut down 36th to 39th Street right at 72nd Avenue if they need to, and really control the crowds and do what they need to do. But of course, there's a huge Spanish population here in Doral, and there's also a very large Venezuelan population. So that's the concern, that it's going to get busier as the evening progresses.
And JC, I'm just curious if you have enough court space there, and if you could take your camera over, is it possible that you could get the mayor of Doral to come to you and try to talk to you for an interview? You just kind of showed the back of his head in that room in there. I know he's probably getting ready for a news conference, but if it is possible, are you able to get him?
I'm trying. Believe me, I had him by our side, and I was trying to get him to talk to us live. I was working on that, but as you can imagine, everybody's grabbing him and pulling him every which way. He's a little further over there. I have my other photographer working to try and get him, but he's been giving interviews all afternoon. We actually were in Doral earlier today because they were coming up with a contingent plan. They were just waiting to get the information from the Venezuelan government to see exactly how plans were going to go in place and what they were going to do. So he has been a popular man in Doral all day today.
And JC, at this point, the media is really outnumbering the number of people reacting, the number of people even gathered there yet.
It really is. Even if you can go ahead and turn and see, I'm sure Shane can show you all the people here, and it is definitely all media. I walked in the restaurant looking for some Venezuelan customers and people to talk to, and there are very, very few. It's mainly all of the media, and they're all talking to, of course, the chief of police and the mayor and getting all the information. It looks like right now, I have my colleagues and my cohorts trying to get the mayor, but it looks like he's lined up to do a network interview. He was just talking to the AP. He's a very hard man to get a hold of this afternoon, as you can imagine, but he is saying exactly what he needs to do, which is to take care of the people in this city and make sure that everything happens safely tonight. If there are any celebrations and people in the streets and people making a lot of noise and taking over, that's why they might shut down the area if need be.
We know you're working hard out there. We just saw the back of his head and we thought maybe possibly you could grab him, but we saw something that you didn't see. But we know you're on top of it. JC, thanks a lot for that.
And that was Doral in Miami-Dade County. In Broward County, Weston also has a very large population of Venezuelan Americans. People are telling us it is very calm and very quiet right now. No large traffic gathering, nothing unusual. But we'll keep an eye there as well. And our own Ross Palumbo is at the breaking news desk with word of some road closures.
Well, as JC was just mentioning, the mayor of Doral, Luigi Boria, and the police chief, Richard Blum, had come up with this large contingency plan. And we can show you Sky 10 HD above the scene. This is 72nd Avenue between 36th Street and 39th Street. Now, the mayor and the police chief have decided to actually shut down a large section of this road should crowds come out because of the death of Hugo Chávez. We do know, of course, that Doral is home to the largest Venezuelan population in the country. They do expect around that restaurant that JC was at, El Arepaso 2, that there will be a large group gathering there, just as when things happen in the Cuban community, that people gather around Versailles. This street here is where the overflow is expected to be again, 72nd Avenue between 36th and 39th Street. But as you can see from Sky 10 HD, not too busy at this moment. They're going to be playing it by ear. There will be officers standing by prepared to shut it down. But Calvin and Lori, as you can see at this moment, it is certainly not necessary.
All right. We know you're right on it for us. Ross Palumbo, monitoring Sky 10. Thank you. And we want to let you know that we will certainly be following the very latest with any reaction coming out of Venezuela. If there is anything further tonight, anything we can gather for you, and we'll continue our team coverage on World News with Diane Sawyer at 6:30 p.m. And also keep checking on local10.com if you need to be in and out of the house for the very latest information.
Also tonight, a South Florida community is coming together to help protect their children from sporadic and senseless violence. It all began with a teachers' initiative at one Miami high school to keep their students from becoming the next victims.
And now residents are pitching in to help. And our own Nikki Mohan joins us live with the details.
Calvin and Lori, parents and teachers here at Miami Northwestern Senior High, pride themselves in the school's improving academics and in keeping the children safe. And when they come through the gates every day, they say they are safe. But once they leave campus, some people say keeping them safe is everyone's problem.
Even I was scared because they threatened to shoot the school.
Abel Larson lives in fear of Miami's gangs on his walk to and from Miami Northwestern Senior High every day. He says they are young people with guns with no respect for students like him.
The kids think it's good to use guns without a problem. Like taking someone's life has become something that they do usually.
And with one say is a gang war going on in Liberty City in light of the recent violence, Northwestern principal Wallace Aristide and his teachers have been standing watch during arrival and dismissal, now more than ever.
We're going to make sure our students get the best education possible. That's got to come with them knowing that we're there for them, we're there to support them.
If so many eyes are there and so many ears, they're not going to be there.
Resident Nikki Fowl says it's time everyone get out on street corners and stand watch during school time. She lives across the street from Charles Drew Middle.
If we could just walk our kids to school or just stand out and watch them go to school, and there's multiple parents that's doing that, then we can see more and hear more.
I don't know if somebody's gonna walk behind me and steal my phone or pull out my chain or something.
And for students like these, teachers and residents are asking for more help to keep watch.
If kids don't want to join the gang, they're getting beat up or killed.
It's not only this school, but every school in the area where they feel safety may be a concern. Their parents and residents are asking everyone to join them as early as tomorrow morning to stand out on the streets. Calvin, as for the kids, they know the reality of the place they live in. They put it in a whole bunch of essays here from a local charity, Miami Children's Initiative, asked them to write it. You can read through these, and I read through them, and you can see they not only know the problems, but they also know that they can be part of the solution as well.
All right, Nikki Mohan live for us. Nikki, thanks a lot for that report. And students have written those letters, as Nikki just talked about, and of course those essays too, detailing solutions to solving the area's violent crimes. You can read some of them on our website. You can always go to local10.com.
The Florida legislature is open for business. Lawmakers started their annual 60-day session today, kicked off by the governor's State of the State address.
Our senior political reporter, Michael Putney, watched the festivities in Tallahassee today. Michael, bottom line, what do you have to say?
The message is very simple. It's working, is what the governor says. Rick Scott used that phrase repeatedly in his speech. He says that under his leadership, unemployment in the state is down, the economy is up, and it's working.
The governor of the great state of Florida.
Let the governor be received. Rick Scott has the lowest approval rating of any governor in the nation, but you wouldn't know it from the reception he got today from Florida lawmakers.
And after 2 years of hard work, this update can be summed up in 2 words. It's working.
Scott returned to that phrase again and again, an update on his first campaign theme, let's get to work.
This year, we have 2 priorities to keep our economy growing. First, remove the sales tax on manufacturing equipment. And second, invest in our teachers by providing them a well-deserved pay raise.
Scott wants a $2,500 pay raise for all Florida teachers, among the worst paid in the country. Teachers want the raise, but most don't care much for Scott after he signed a merit pay bill that also did away with tenure.
We don't want a war on teachers. We want a war on failure.
It was mentioned that there's no war on teachers. Well, let me remind you, you started the war with your $1.3 billion cut to education.
Among the topics Scott didn't mention today, reforming state election laws and restoring early voting hours, protecting the state's environment, or the rising cost of property insurance. And he brought up Medicaid expansion, which he supports only at the very end.
I concluded that for the 3 years, the federal government is committed to paying 100% of the cost of new people in Medicaid. I cannot, in good conscience, deny the uninsured access to care.
The cheers for that statement came mainly from the Democrats in the legislature who favor Medicaid expansion, but the House Speaker is against it, and I think the chance of it expanding in the state are very slim.
Michael, fair to say won't be the last time we hear the words, "It's working."
New slogan, campaign slogan?
I think 2014, the time has come. That's the slogan we're going to hear. It's the successor to "Let's get to work."
All right, Michael Putney, thanks for your perspective.
Well, for the first time in a while now, the FAA is changing its rules on what you can bring on board a plane.
Plus, the Dow Jones reaches a new record high. Wait till you see the numbers. And of course, the latest on the death of Hugo Chávez, all coming up on World News with Diane Sawyer at 6:30.
And here in South Florida, it's been a picture-perfect day. It's 69 degrees right now in Miami, 70 in Fort Lauderdale. But yet another cold front's heading in our direction. We'll have the impact of that coming up in your forecast.
At Hair Cuttery, we want you to love your look. If you aren't 100% delighted with the service you've received, we'll do whatever it takes until you are smiling back in the mirror at the new you. Hair Cuttery. Smart looks, smart prices.
Right now at Rooms to Go, you can get these beautiful bedrooms for just $999. That's great, but during our 22nd anniversary sale, they're also easier than ever to buy. Thanks to special new anniversary financing. Now get this bedroom for just $20 a month interest-free. That's right, beautiful bedrooms like this for just $20 a month. Or this one, just $20 a month interest-free. Right now at the Rooms to Go 22nd anniversary sale.
It's 90 years of continuing down the road less traveled, and 305 overachieving horses. It's outsmarting less than intelligent roads, and minding its manners. It's the Lincoln MKX.
For a limited time, get the 2013 Lincoln MKX for $479 per month. Visit your local Lincoln dealer today.
Celebrate St. Patrick's Day in downtown Hollywood at the 15th Annual Parade and Festival. Sunday, March 10th, noon to 6. Hollywood Boulevard and Harrison Street, with a special appearance by the Budweiser Clydesdales. And remember, nobody throws a party like the Irish.
Your next destination right here at the Miccosukee Resort and Gaming. Unwind at the spa. Toast to your good fortune. Light up your night with the highest payouts in South Florida. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Play the Miccosukee way.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
Find 3 ways to quit at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Want to get close to the action? Take the party inside. The Miccosukee Resort and Gaming. Bingo, poker, gaming machines, the highest payouts in South Florida. Are you a winner? You'll never know until you play. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Play the Miccosukee way.
Honor y gloria a Hugo Chávez. Que viva Hugo Chávez. Que viva por siempre.
Translation, honor and glory to Hugo Chávez. There you see Vice President Nicolás Maduro just more than an hour ago on Venezuelan TV announcing the death of longtime president in Venezuela, Hugo Chávez, at the age of 58 after a long battle with cancer.
And sadness in the country of 27 million, but there is happiness here locally for the city of Doral and some Venezuelans living in Weston as well. Some 190,000 Venezuelans living in the U.S. And here's a picture right here of the 2 daughters of Hugo Chávez seen here in Cuba right around February 14th. He returned to Venezuela on February 18th, and that was the last time anyone had seen him publicly. But these pictures right here, where a country where image is so important, you see him smiling there with his 2 daughters by his side.
And then there was word that those pictures might have been taken back in December, but just released in February. The information is so sketchy coming out of Venezuela, but the daughters tweeting their support for their father and that last picture. You can look for the very latest coming up on World News with Diane Sawyer at 6:30, the death of Hugo Chávez.
Right now, up close and personal. Miami Heat star Dwayne Wade spending a little time with one of his biggest fans. Truly, Tess is one of his biggest fans. Well, after the Heat won their 15th straight game, Dwayne Wade proving to be a champion off the court as well.
This is such a great story, and we think you need a little break tonight from all of our coverage. So let's get into this wonderful star story after spending time with Tess, the 13-year-old girl, and he just made her dream come true. Our own Andrea Brody spoke with Tess, and Andrea, she must have just felt magical about this.
She couldn't even speak. She was speechless, truly. Tess Mountain has a bit of a habit of hiding behind her sisters when she meets someone new. So, can you imagine how she felt when her idol actually walked into the room? But this strong girl sat firmly with a slight smile. She was not going to miss the moment she's been dreaming of.
And here comes Wade, blowing by Rubio. Down the launch pad.
For one night, she is a fan like anyone else.
I think she's a little stunned still.
Her sisters tried to prepare the shy 13-year-old for what would happen next, but that task, like the moment, proved overwhelming.
How you doing, Tess?
She was so happy she was almost shaking a little bit, Andrea.
In a lifetime filled with difficulties, a few minutes of unimaginable joy.
I've seen the video.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
It was awesome.
While Tess sits in amazement, Dwayne Wade does the talking for both. He knows if this Minnesota girl is not his biggest fan, she is certainly one of his most important.
This is D-Wade, this is Tess. I just want to say thank Tess so much for being a fan of mine. I appreciate it so much.
Tess was born with a rare syndrome. Doctors thought she would never walk. But 2 years ago, she picked up a poster of Dwayne Wade, and her life changed.
She actually is playing basketball for the Special Olympics, and the reason she chose basketball is because of her fondness for Dwayne Wade. She really feels good about herself.
Tess's 5 siblings are so proud they began a Facebook campaign to help her meet her hero. They were shocked when fans from around the world responded, and one in particular from Miami.
You're going to be the kid captain of the game, and that means you're going to get your picture taken with Dwayne Wade. So you're going to go meet him. Oh.
After the Heat's big win, it was time for a major victory for Tess. Validation that she too is special, that her happiness matters, even to a superstar.
What were you thinking, honey?
Best day ever.
It was the best day ever. That's what she was thinking.
Now, after the meeting, Dwayne Wade tweeted a thank you to Tess, insisting this experience was more important to him than it was to her. And as for our shy Tess, she walked out of that room and began screaming. And then she started hugging everybody in sight.
And you can really relate if you've ever met a superstar. I mean, you can barely look at them, right? I mean, she couldn't even look him in the face.
That's exactly what I said to her. I mean, being 13 years old and dreaming of this moment forever, and he came in and he was so nice and tried so hard to make her comfortable, yes. But she just couldn't say a word. It all came out, though, after.
And quite frankly, it's a moment he will never forget as well, too. So.
And I don't know, after watching this story, who you love more, Tess or Dwayne Wade.
That's exactly right.
That's true. Good feelings all around. Andrea, thanks for sharing that. And incidentally, the Timberwolves, well, they're not such good sports. They are really sore losers. They posted a video poking fun at our Heat and their Harlem Shake. And some Heat fans are finding it a bit offensive. You can watch this video by heading over to our Local 10 Facebook page if you even are interested. And we have a link there so you can share your thoughts on this right to the Timberwolves themselves.
You know, there are so many things you can say about that, but the first thing is that is about how the Minnesota Timberwolves fans feel about their basketball team.
That's
beaten
true.
down after winning.
Just haters, just haters.
Yeah, they won 15 games this year. Secretary of State John Kerry wraps up his first trip overseas and find out what he discovered about Iran and about nuclear weapons.
Here's Diane Sawyer with what else she's working for you on World News.
Good evening and thanks. The latest on the big storm and the big news out of the stock market. And tonight, we're going to show you something simple you can do right from your sofa to bring huge savings on the cost of drugs. Be sure to watch. Back to you.
Diane, thanks. And we continue to monitor reaction from Venezuela and from around South Florida on the death of Venezuelan President Hugo Chávez, who lost his long fight with cancer just a few hours ago. Stay with Local 10, and we'll have more coming up on World News with Diane Sawyer at 6:30.
This Thursday through Sunday, it's a massive RV show at Sun Life Stadium. See hundreds of new motorhomes, trailers, and fifth wheels, plus millions of dollars worth of used RVs. Free admission and parking. This Thursday through Sunday only. It's a massive RV show at Sun Life Stadium. Every 3 days, the life of a young athlete is lost due to sudden cardiac death. Usually there are no advanced signs or symptoms, but the saddest part is it's entirely preventable. A simple EKG screening can detect heart problems before it's too late. Miami Children's Hospital is offering this invaluable test free of charge to middle and high school sports participants. Please schedule a screening today. Miami Children's Hospital. You want the best for your children. This Thursday through Sunday,
It's a massive RV show
at Sun Life Stadium. See hundreds of new motorhomes, trailers, and fifth wheels, plus millions of dollars worth of used RVs. Free admission and parking. This Thursday through Sunday only. It's a massive RV show at Sun Life Stadium.
At Pollo Tropical, we believe eating fresh makes the soul smile. Get happy with our new grilled shrimp Tropi Chop, made with tender shrimp and your choice of fresh toppings. Try our new grilled shrimp Tropi Chop with drink, just $5.19. Life's better under the palm.
The Miami Fine Chocolate and Food Show this weekend at Pinecrest Gardens. Sample chocolate from the country's top chocolatiers. Try gourmet foods. Sip craft beer, wines, and spirits. See live cooking demonstrations. Visit MiamiFineFoodShow.com.
Hi, welcome to Toyota's #1 for everyone sales event. I'm Jan.
Now that the kids are gone, we're looking for something more fuel efficient.
We have cars with great MPG, like the Prius. That can save you money.
You can redo their bedroom. Maybe a sewing room or a guest bedroom for my mom.
I'd love a sewing room. For me and my friends.
Right now, get a low 0% APR for 36 months on a new 2013 Toyota Prius. That's 0% APR on a new Toyota Prius. Toyota, let's go places.
Keeping your lawn healthy is tough. The constant fertilizing, the multitude of insects, the impossible weeds. It never stops.
I can fix this.
Just call Hewlett. Get your free healthy home checkup. We treat it all. Insects, weeds, lawn disease, and it's pet friendly. We bring your lawn back into the green. Artificial turf? Really?
Yeah. Just call Hewlett.
Just call Hewlett.
Satisfy your seafood craving with Pollo Tropical's new grilled shrimp Tropi Chop, made with fresh, tender shrimp basted with a decadent garlic butter sauce and your choice of toppings. Try our new grilled shrimp Tropi Chop with drink, just $5.19. Life's better under the palm.
All right, let's get you a check of the beautiful weather here across South Florida today. The radar, we won't be using it here this evening as things are quiet, because if you look at the visible satellite imagery, hardly a cloud in sight across South Florida, a few north of Bimini over in the Bahamas. But we've got this nice warm flow coming in off the water out of the southeast at 10 miles per hour in Miami, 12 Fort Lauderdale. Winds are actually calmed down in Marathon, and there were a couple of gusts earlier in Broward County near 20, and that's kind of a sign of things to come for tomorrow afternoon. It will get breezy here as we're going to watch another cold front come through the area, but a beautiful sunset on the way here with clear skies. 69 is the current reading in Miami, 72 in Key West, and you can see that east to southeast wind almost at all reporting locations. Now across Florida, it's pretty quiet, but you can start to see the leading edge of rain associated with that next cold front. It's not real thick. It's a very thin line of moisture, so our rain chance tomorrow here only 20%. We broaden the scope. All of this is attached to a large area of low pressure that is digging its way through the Midwest. The attached cold front is what will eventually move through us, but this area of low pressure bringing yet more snowfall here to the nation's heartland from Chicago, Indianapolis, eventually through Cincinnati. And if we look at the computer model forecast for the next 48 hours, Indianapolis is expecting 6 to 8 inches, depending upon if you live north of the city or south of the city, a little bit more towards the northern half. Columbus, Ohio, 3 inches. And as this snowstorm hits the higher elevations here, the Appalachians, we're expecting a foot or more here in the northern parts of North Carolina, West Virginia, heading into Washington, where they'll pick up about 10 inches. So this one will impact travel here over the next couple of days. Now, as that front starts to slide towards us, it will begin to weaken. The moisture really runs out, so that's why our rain chance stays low, but it will give us a cooler blast of air for Thursday. We'll wake up in the low 50s once again, but not nearly as cold as where we were at the end of the weekend and the start of this work week. So the beach forecast for tomorrow will be nice and warm, a few clouds, but it's going to become breezy late in the day as that front comes through. Your water temperature at 71, surf 1 to 2 feet. Winds will eventually come out of the west tomorrow, and that's going to allow our temperatures to go up near 80 degrees. Matter of fact, here's what tomorrow looks like. Sunny and warmer, 61 to 80, so a very mild start to the day. Looking through Friday, the coolest morning here will be Thursday, and then we'll start to warm things up just in time for the weekend. And just an early reminder, this is the weekend we spring forward. We lose that hour of sleep before you go to bed Saturday night. Move the clocks ahead 1 hour. Calvin and Lori.
All right, Trent, thank you so much. And as we continue to monitor reaction on the death of Venezuelan President Hugo Chávez, we implore you to share the conversation on our Facebook page at local10.com. We're already getting so many reactions on our Facebook. Quite the mixed reaction, but mostly positive reaction to the death of the longtime socialist dictator.
We'll have much more coming up on World News with Diane Sawyer, and of course you can join us tonight at 11 o'clock.
Titan, advanced technology, energy savings. That's Titan. Now, with its new line of digital tankless water heater.
A neighborhood with spirit.
The pizza joint around the corner. A place to hang out with my friends. The attic.
The basement.
Being close to my grandchildren.
Yay.
A formal dining room.
That's the soul.
At RE/MAX, there are nearly 90,000 agents to find the perfect fit for all the things that move you.
What moves you?
We need a car, truck or van. Who you gonna call? AutoNation. Coast to coast, across the land. Who you gonna call? AutoNation.
Marooney is now AutoNation, America's largest automotive retailer. Get low upfront prices and a money-back guarantee across America.
Who you gonna call? AutoNation.
I remember when my son came into the world. I was so ready to teach him the important things in life. I cried when I watched him graduate from college. Yep, that was someday. Do I believe in fate? No, I don't. I believe in getting the best care.
Every so often, an event takes place so exceptional, it requires you to experience it firsthand. Like the Rooms to Go 22nd anniversary sale, where every incredible low anniversary price is a reason to buy. And where you'll experience new interest-free monthly payments that are quite simply the lowest in our history. So rush in, pick your beautiful new furniture, do the math, and the payments will wow you. Right now, during the Rooms to Go 22nd anniversary sale.
Ambrosia, live for one night only, Tuesday, March 19th, in the grandstand at Mardi Gras Casino. Spend the evening. Great promotions, great food, great music, and the chance to win big. 5-time Grammy-nominated Ambrosia, Tuesday, March 19th at 8 p.m. live at Mardi Gras Casino. Pembroke Road at US 1 in Hallandale Beach, where it's always a party.
No matter where you're going, things at home are under control. Your control. Experience Xfinity Home, only from Comcast, the total home security and home control solution that lets you manage your home from anywhere, with features like remote alarm controls, video monitoring, and light and thermostat controls. Awesome is being connected to your home and family. Choose Xfinity Home and save $10 per month over ADT, a 20% savings. Call 1-800-XFINITY.
Body approved tonight right here on